Hummer H2 Part 5 of the sound deadening. Alright guys, I got some really exciting news. I've got the midsection complete. So the way I'm breaking this down, we've got the rear. Okay, that was 30 mega squares to get that completed. This right here took 19 squares. We went right up here into this line. Okay, now this is what I'm considering the midsection. For this section, it took 19 mega squares. I'm just going to round it up to 20. So 20 squares to get this middle section, 30 for the rear. I'm actually short squares, but I've got a lot of work to do in the front, so I'll be able to keep busy until the shipment comes in. But I'm going to probably guess that for the front, probably about 30 squares are going to be needed, maybe 25. I'll let you guys know when I get to there. This is a lot easier, this section. Again, not as many nooks and crannies. I was able to lay larger pieces. Down here in this corner, you can see this is like the rear wiring harness for your seat. Okay, heater goes in right down there, and this piece kind of clips underneath. Right down here, you can see I want to show you guys in the front as well. Here's a tip right here. I originally tried prying one of these off to get this wire off, and then I snapped the connector holder. You don't need to do that. What you should be doing is taking these off. This was absolutely disgusting beneath it. I mean, these trays are disgusting. I haven't even cleaned them yet. This side, you can just see, look at the buildup of debris. I mean, absolutely disgusting. I'm not really going to be talking about the front too much in this video. Something I want to point out is, you see all that goo and gunk? What's interesting is that, let me hop onto the driver's side real quick and we'll keep talking about this project. It's the same over here. I don't know if that's a coincidence. Whatever they spilled down there, like rolled down on both sides equally. I thought that was interesting. I mean, I have no idea what that is. Again, in the front, I guess actually I might as well talk about the front. You can see, guys, there's just a lot of dirt buildup, rust buildup. This inch foam, I'm going to take all that out. I'm going to replace that with another inch foam. I'm going to run the squares all the way up to the top. I've seen some guys online who sound deaden, they don't actually put anything down there. They leave that foam there. I don't like that decision. It's interesting. You see a lot of these professionals, and they don't clean the vehicle. They just start laying squares. So you wonder how good are some of these guys. Same thing over here. You got these connectors up here. What do I have for you guys? Oh, this one actually came off. It's the same connector on the other side. So these are the clips I was talking to you guys about. These were actually clipped into the felt on the original sound deadening material that was on there. Now, if you guys saw, right here and right here, I had that big mess of paint chips. I'm not sure what type of spray. Maybe it's some type of sound deadening material. But beneath that, it really wasn't fully sealed. It was all cracking. I made the decision to take out all the crap that you guys saw, and I took out a little more in the center that was loose, that was falling apart. And I sucked all that out. Probably in the perfect world, if I had the right tools available and time. I mean, I'm pressed for time to get this, project done. All right, I would have probably taken all that out. I ended up, just when you're working it, you really got to take your time, because when I put it on, it didn't go down correctly the first time, and then you have to pull this stuff up. So I really worked it down into there when I placed these mega mats on. A couple other tips for the back. Again, this is the midsection. You can see that it runs up to right here. Underneath here, you can't see it now, but you can place material inside. Like there's a gap. There's about a half-inch gap, a little less than that. So I was able to actually press the squares up a little bit and get some more coverage onto the frame. For me, it's the little details that matter. So that really is it for this video, guys. You can see how my next part of this video is I've said to myself, I'm going to focus on cleaning the front. I want to get these mats out that are currently in there, get them out, and then get some of the console trim off on the top, because I want to get that some material under there so it stops rattling. The biggest problem with the Hummer H2s are the vibrations from the exhaust. You can put your feet on the ground up here and you can just feel the vehicle shaking. Because I have a really high quality exhaust, I've got AFE headers, MagnaFlow cats, and AFE exhaust. It's extremely violent in this cabin, so violent that I literally wear headphones when I'm driving on longer distances, and it's really annoying, and it can really just shoot your ears out. I used to ride street bikes years ago, so that's come from me. It's that bad. So I'm really hoping this quiets it down. Now I've got to do the wheel wells eventually. Roof eventually, doors. So to me, I believe this is the hardest part, because I can't drive the vehicle. I can't drive the vehicle while it's in this current state. My goal was to at one point I wanted to repaint these black, really restore the upholstery. I'm not going to be doing that as of right now. That's going to be down the pipeline at another point in the future. I wanted to point out right here, I had actually, when it comes to the cabin filter in the Hummer H2, this is a 2005 Hummer H2. You're going to see these guys online, they're working on other GM trucks. They're going to be saying, there's a cabin filter behind that, you need to change it. Let me tell you guys, there's no cabin filter behind this. I went in there and I was fishing around. I ended up slashing the AC core, got blasted in the face by the AC recharge coolant, whatever it's called. That turned into an absolute mess. Putting that back together, that duct tape covers up, it's holding in the AC. But I wanted to show you guys, I put a piece of duct tape there. I must have at some point cracked the plastic, and that's where the air heat goes through, that flows through the vent. So it was leaking out right there, so that got sealed. I'd say for most of you guys out there, I wouldn't even worry about that. Yes, there was a little bit of dirt buildup back there, but I'd say for most people, I would just pass on that. I'll make a video on that probably soon, but you're just asking for trouble dealing with that. I'm not joking, guys. That's a project in itself. What else can I talk to you guys about? Focusing on the front, we're gonna get this dash trim. I don't really know how it comes off up here, but I saw that guy in one of those Russian countries, and he said this is an absolute disaster taking these parts out. And he had a group of, I think, 5 or 6 grown men who do this for a living. So they did, say, 5 men, 8 hours a day, 40 hours, 2 days. It took them to do all this, 2 or 3 days. You're looking at 80 hours of work. Yesterday I did an 8-hour day. I probably did an 8 before. I'm probably at the 20-hour mark for this. Mind you, they did the headliner, they did the wheel wells, they did up here, everything. I want to make sure I'm covering everything for you guys. Something else, when it comes to water leaks. The water was coming through here, coming over here, and it was dribbling down to here. So I'm going to talk about this in one of my water leak videos, but I've seen people talk about water leaks coming down, building up back here. I believe some of this back here is actually coming from the door. Something else I want to mention is that there's a lot of people out there, they make these videos on sound deadening. They have every tool available. They've got the perfect garage setup. Maybe they've been doing this for 20, 30 years, okay? For me, what you're not going to see in those videos is you've got to clean up. Like, I just probably spent an hour outside cleaning up wrappers, all this stuff flying around, getting tools organized. I usually keep one of these brushes on both sides. So I dust the brush off, moving the shop vac around, getting the baggies of parts you've taken off, get them to the side. So it could be a lot of time, guys, just getting organized, ready for your next step in the vehicle. So again, this is 100% a project vehicle. I know there's some people out there saying, well, is all this necessary, what you're doing? It's one of those, well, for me, I'm going to say yes. The vehicle smells. You guys have seen in these videos how absolutely disgusting and dirty it's been. You know, me cleaning this up. We found literally narcotics in my vehicle, Easter egg candy. We found bolts left over from the factory. I actually found some broken drill bits in the front of the vehicle. Yeah, found there's a broken drill bit. Broken drill bit. Okay, found that. There's another piece just like that in the front of the vehicle. So having those types of narcotics up there, that's I don't want that stuff in my vehicle. Even though it's somebody's prescription, you know, it's not a good look regardless. What else do I want to go over with you guys? Yeah, answering the question, is all this necessary? All right. Well, the exhaust is extremely violent. If you're going to put an exhaust in your Hummer H2, you're going to get exhaust drone. It's extremely violent. I don't want to deal with that. I got sick of it. I got sick of the smell. I mean, this thing's absolutely... It was disgusting. You guys have only seen it through video. You know, seeing it in person, touching it, getting your hands dirty. I mean, it just gets annoying, just dealing with this amount of filth and buildup. So I'm going to have to say yes. Once this part's done, this is the second layer. There's going to be a third layer on top of this, and I'm going to start putting a lot of the trim back on. Once I get a lot of the trim back on, the seats back in, and you know, I can drive the vehicle, get all that cleaned up. You know, this is, for me, this is the hardest part you guys are seeing. But if you're going to be putting a big bad exhaust in your vehicle, well, let me tell you guys, this is the result. This is the next project. Because you're going to say, oh, you know, the exhaust, I love the sound. When you start driving around with it, you're like, man, this is annoying. This is vicious. This is too much. And that's where I'm at. So this Hummer H2 started off as, I want to buy my dream car and it's going to be a lot of fun. To an absolute mega project that I could have never imagined. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying the truthful answer is it wasn't the right vehicle for me at that time in my life. It still isn't the right vehicle, but I've got it. I made the decision. If you're going to be buying one of these trucks, so this is what you're getting yourself into.